lot of people were really looking forward to a new release in the Saints Row franchise because of how much love there is behind it. But unfortunately, months ago we found out the franchise will never be the same because Volition announced a new game in the series that's supposed to be more with the times and politically correct. And of course, they faced a ton of backlash over the initial announcement, but they're delaying the game and they've started attacking fans yet again who are upset with the delays and also the political correctness. I have a couple of different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So let's start off with the Sankaku Complex article. It says Saints Row Reboot delayed 6 months, developer lashes out at critics. Now, the lashing out at critics already happened months ago when they officially announced the game. There were a lot of people who were really upset over the situation, but they're doing it again, and they're doing it even worse this time around. So, it says Volition has delayed the despised Saints Row Reboot by 6 whole months, assuring players that they will work hard to improve upon the game, which some might label as a fruitless endeavor. Many of their potential customers have decided to pour salt in the wound, asking them to either cancel the game or to deliver the game they actually want. There are a lot of people that are upset over this situation, and I completely understand why. Saints Row got popular because it was very similar to a Grand Theft Auto. It pushed the boundaries. It had a lot of good content in the games, and unfortunately, they're deciding to change up that formula with this reboot, and a lot of people aren't excited over the new formula. It says Volition has been well aware of the deserved criticism their reboot has received, and they seemed to mostly ignore it, except for when they're attacking people. When Volition's chief creative officer announced a delay, they should have expected the same treatment. So this is the statement that they announced. Basically, they're just, they're delaying the game by a couple of months. Of course, they're using COVID as an excuse, but it says Saints Row will no longer release on the originally announced date of the 25th of February in 2022. Instead, it will launch worldwide on August 23rd, 2022. This is quite a delay, but it says our priority is to create the best Saints Row game yet. We know that's a joke. And if we released on the original date, it wouldn't be up to the standards we've set ourselves and that you're expecting and deserve. The team just needs a little more time to do our vision justice. We're doing some fine-tuning, and there won't be much change in the game outside of overall quality and polish. Now, I always say this. I think that it's not a bad thing when companies delay games, because even though we're not getting the game when we want it or when we were told and we were expecting it, they're delaying it because they want to polish it more, they want to fix up the game more, and I like that because I don't want games to release in a cyberpunk state. Games that have so much potential can release in horrible states, and then no one ends up playing them. We don't end up appreciating them. It takes months to fix them, and then by the time games are fixed, no one really cares about it anymore. The hype has died down, and I really don't want games to release in a cyberpunk 2077 state, like I said. But there's a couple of things here that make you wonder, are they really delaying it because of the quality? It says, in all honesty, we underestimated the impact COVID would have on our schedule, although everyone adapted very quickly to the working from home arrangement and continued to be incredibly productive. However, due to the size and scope of our new Saints Row game, it's become apparent that to create the best game possible, we need to give our team longer to perfect their craft. Now, it's pretty suspicious that once Elden Ring's release date was moved to the day Saints Row was supposed to release, they're suddenly moving Saints Row by 6 months. Elden Ring is a massive release in the gaming industry, and especially in February, and so is Horizon Forbidden West, which is releasing in that month. So it's just odd that they moved Saints Row so suddenly, especially because they've already let outlets like Game Informer put out gameplay footage, which is also hilariously being massively disliked. If we go over to their YouTube channel, this was released a month ago. Exclusive look at Saints Row opening missions, new gameplay today. It has 7.7k likes and 5.2k dislikes, but they're already releasing gameplay footage, and they did a whole month ago. So do they really need more time, or did they just decide to move it because there's a couple of very large releases in February? On the actual gameplay video, people are saying things like, I came in here with an open mind, ready to possibly defend this game from the negativity it has gotten since the reveal trailer, but man, this looks rough. Not in a bad way, but in a super uninspiring, painfully mediocre, and boring kind of way, and that's a worry a lot of us have had, that they just are bringing back Saints Row to hopefully bank off of nostalgia and bank off of the fact that people really enjoy this franchise, and it just seems like going into Saints Row, they put in the least amount of effort as possible. They should have just called this game something else. Been a fan since 1 and 2, and I'll admit that I even enjoyed 3, minus the fact that they took away the creative freedoms and whatnot, but just dealing with the developers disregarding the true fans and what they have been asking for is just mind-blowing to see how bad they destroyed such a good franchise, only to appease this new generation, which sucks, by the way. These are not just haters that are commenting on all of these videos. These are real, true Saints Row fans who have loved the franchise for many years that wanted this game to be good, but Volition isn't listening to anyone who actually wants this game to be good. People are saying things like, I can't believe they took one of the most energetic and hilarious game series ever and made it this bland. Just look at the characters and the enemies. Every other Saints Row rival gang has had so much character, gimmicks, and uniqueness, making each one stand out in an entertaining way. All I learned from the rival gang here is that they're yellow and they like close range because they got big muscles. Now, I've talked about my thoughts on Saints Row already, but the characters don't look like a group of exciting people to play as. They look like hipsters you'd see in Starbucks ordering a chai tea latte. When I play a game, I want badass looking characters, and that's not what I see at all in these trailers. The gameplay looks really mediocre that we've seen here. Overall, it just doesn't look like an amazing experience, and it's really disappointing to have to say that. I've always really liked Saints Row. I liked all of the previous games, but unfortunately, it just seems like they are reviving and rebooting this franchise just to ruin it. But going back to the initial article, it says, as before, the customers voiced their outrage with the terrible reboot, and Volition waved off their criticism as a little more than hate. People are saying things like, lads and lasses, we just want the original characters back. If you aren't going to do that, at least bring back Johnny and Pierce. And Saints Row, their official Twitter account, is commenting things like there won't be any large changes to the content. The delay is to give us more time to ensure that the quality of the game is as good as it can be. We love the creative choices we've made. We're confident in them, so they will not be changing. I do understand that, you know, this is the content they think is going to sell, but why do they think this content is going to sell? Because when you tone down things and you make them more politically correct, the people who want political correctness in games are not going to purchase this title because they've seen the previous Saints Row games that push the boundaries and push the limits. They're going to go, well, I remember that previous game that had all of this offensive content, so I'm not going to buy it. It's like sanitizing Grand Theft Auto. Why would they do that? The people they're trying to appease aren't going to purchase their titles. People are commenting things like creative choices. Are you sure about this? Your game looks like any Service Live game from the past 10 years, and let's not talk about the diverse cast, which looks generic as hell. And Saints Row commented back, Saints Row has always been diverse from the start, and our art style is faithful to our previous games, basically saying if you don't like it, you don't buy it. Now, people are allowed to dislike a game if they want to, and a company shouldn't be attacking people over it. They're disregarding criticism as hate, and it's not that simple. Criticism isn't a bad thing. It means that people actually care about your franchise and want a game they'd like to purchase, but of course companies just write it off as hate, which is a good way for a game to fail, let's be honest. If you attack your fans and release a crappy game, very few people are gonna buy it. People are saying things like, they're so scared of Elden Ring, they changed its release date, and they said things like, no, we were very much looking forward to sharing our release date with Elden Ring, and we wish them the best of luck. Of course, they're going to say that. They're not going to say, yeah, you know, we were actually really afraid of this massive release coming out on the same day. People are saying things like, can you post updates on the Saints Row 2 PC port fixes? That would be nice. And they said when we have something to say, they will. People have been complaining about the PC ports to these games for a while, and they've done absolutely nothing to fix them. Somebody said, bring back the original Saints then. And Saints Row commented, there won't be any large changes to the content. The delay is to give us more time. We're confident in our creative choices. Basically the same response. And people are saying things like, still gonna flop. Is this game still in development? I thought it was already released and nobody cared since it looks like a Fortnite clone. People are saying things like, not surprising since the game looks extremely generic and there's no hype. And it's true. There hasn't been a lot of excitement. Look at the original trailer that they released. It has 1.2 million views, but it's got 31,000 likes and 70,000 dislikes. Real Saints Row fans are extremely disappointed with this game and the direction they're going in, and I haven't seen any hype for this, and I don't really think we're gonna see any hype for this title. Now, I quickly wanted to show you all the tweets that they made back in August, dismissing fans and saying basically, get over it. You know, this is the game we're releasing. People were commenting things like, I know you won't listen, but if you want your fans to stop complaining and giving y'all shit, maybe, just maybe, replace these clowns and give us the real Saints. Doesn't even have to be the old crew, just real gangsters. That would honestly clear up a lot of the hate you guys are getting. And then, of course, Saints Row commented a gif that says, haters gonna hate. This is a problem, is when companies only dismiss criticism as hate. These people are truly and genuinely upset over the fact that you have completely changed the formulas of your games, but of course they don't care. They said things like, we are not backing down on this game. We get it. It's new and it's a shock reaction to a reboot like no other. The GIF was supposed to convey that. People were shocked not because they were happy and they were excited. People were shocked because they were so completely and utterly disappointed, and I think Saints Row needs to realize that. Saints Row 1, 2, and 3 were basically Grand Theft Auto's little brother, and then 4 was really sci-fi and over the top with aliens, and you ended up going to hell in the expansion. It was really cool, but they probably should have gone in the direction of either Grand Theft Auto or super over-the-top sci-fi, yet they're completely changing the direction of the game as if it's a new franchise, and I don't want to support that. Saints Row isn't a franchise for political correctness, and it will never be. Imagine if Rockstar came out and said Grand Theft Auto 6 will be, for the new age and to represent today's morals, aka today's woke SJW agenda narratives, and that's not going to sell titles, and companies need to realize the people they're trying to pander to are not going to purchase their titles no matter what they tone down and what they change. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.